Welcome back, guys. 2017 is Bitcoin's year, or it is the year of the cryptocurrency in general. Now, let me show you a graph which kind of portrays that. This graph shows the price action of some of the major cryptos if you would have bought them in January 1st until August 16th, which is a day old. I'm pretty sure the data is still relevant, though. Some of the lowest gainers were Bitcoin and Monero, but they were still at hundreds of percent gains. Monero at 250, Bitcoin at 350, and of course, Neo recently overtaking everything with over 31,000% gains. And these are just from the major ones. There's plenty of other altcoins that have come from obscurity to somewhere in the top 100, and that's represented tens of thousands of percent gains. Now, having a look at the market, we can see Bitcoin is not stopping another 5% in the last 24 hours. I kind of feel like I'm saying, guys, water is wet, fire is hot, and Bitcoin is worth more than it was previously. It's just like, duh. But yes, another 5%. So in the last 7 days, it's up 30%. Anyone that's new to Bitcoin or bought recently kind of have their heart in their mouths, watching the price. Is it going to go down? Is it going to go up? But for everyone that's been here for a while, it's just an awesome ride. And it just keeps going. Everything else, quite a lot of green. Ethereum back to almost 310 from a low of around 290 yesterday. There has been a lot of positive news around Ethereum, so I guess it's just about the market catching up. Ripple down a bit. Okay. IOTA, though, up another 15%, over $1 now. And look at that line. You never usually see such a straight line from one corner to another. That is a very steady climb. Litecoin can't break $50 again, it seems. Neither can Neo. Neither can Monero. 50 seems to be the magic number that they're struggling to beat, at least for the moment. 10x currently consolidating around 450. Hasn't seen too much price action in the last few days. EOS down a little bit. Now, what's interesting for me, guys, this is what I find interesting. If a coin has a good developer or good development team behind it, but the market doesn't seem to be talking about it at the moment, or if there's no really good news coming out and the price is going down, this is usually an indication of something I'd be interested in. Not saying that you should go and buy EOS now, though. You've got plenty of time, year-long ICO, no rush whatsoever, but generally just something to keep in mind. Now, SegWit is about halfway to activation, about 54% to be exact. So scheduled to go live sometime in November. And I know that Litecoin holders particularly cannot wait for this. They want to see atomic swaps. They want to see Litecoin being used in conjunction with Bitcoin for transactions. They're looking to break $50 and stay above $50 basically. They haven't done much in a while. A little peak of around 47 recently. Only once briefly above 50, at least in the past 5, 6, 7 weeks. Now, in case you didn't know, guys, Forbes, the articles or the magazine or the press wing of Forbes was bought out by a Chinese company a few years ago. Now, pretty much anyone can write for Forbes, and we're seeing that in action. You probably know this. This was a big controversy, I could say, yesterday on Reddit. This post by Adam Hartung, very sorry. Bitcoin is worth 4,000. Why you should probably not own one. I thought I'd just spend a little time picking at this article for fun, because honestly, his research is astonishing. Bitcoin's increased in value, he says, from about 570 to more than 4,300, an astounding 750%. Wait a second. 570 to 4,300. That's 650%. Not 750. We're off to a good start. Now, he starts off mainly positive, talking about Bitcoin as a cryptocurrency. Fair enough. It is. And then he ends the first section with, there is no good faith and credit of the government standing behind the currency. Now, what he needs to understand is there is no good faith. Fiat is already manipulated by the tinkering of interest rates, inflation, and taking on massive debt from other countries to maintain its perceived value. And the rate that debt is building, a financial crisis is inevitable unless something changes. That's where we're headed. Once upon a time, currency was backed up by gold and silver. Theoretically, you could change your dollar bills to the government and they would give you the silver or the gold that it's backed up by. Not anymore. Moving on. He says, currencies are sort of magical things. Excellent. Journalism. And then he goes on to explain currencies in his own way. In the 1630s, people in Holland thought of tulip bulbs as stored value. Again with the tulips. Okay, so for those that aren't aware, in the 1600s, tulip bulbs were introduced in Europe. In Holland, they were sought out and the demand was really high for them. So as you would imagine, the price rose quite quickly. Then speculators started investing in it because they wanted to make some money as well. Eventually, they figured out that the bulbs weren't actually worth that much and the market collapsed really quickly. Although there was a plague running at the time. That could have contributed. Now, the tulip bulb story is a really good example of a bubble. However, there are three major differences between a bulb and Bitcoin. I already had to go through this with my father-in-law, so bear with me. Number one, bulbs are useless, or at least they only grow a plant. There's not much value in that. Bitcoin is different. Let's say, for example, a currency in one country should collapse. Bitcoin wouldn't because it's a global, worldwide currency. Number two reason, the bulb mania lasted for about 3 months, while Bitcoin has been here for 8 years and has never been stronger. And number three reason, tulips could be grown essentially limitlessly. There was no end of the supply, while Bitcoin has a very limited supply. Back to the article. It goes on to talk about traditional investments being better because they are things that people actually want. For example, food, utilities, entertainment, and other things. And he even makes the point, making things people want. So being able to send money internationally almost instantly with very low fees is not what people want. Why does PayPal exist? Why until recently was PayPal valued more than all of the Bitcoin in the world? Why is a person like the previous chief operating officer of PayPal saying that Bitcoin fulfills their original vision? Now, Adam could be a troll. I think there's a 50-50 chance that he is or he isn't. But I thought it was an interesting article to dissect. One day we will be like Abe Simpson. And I see ourselves telling our grandchildren something similar like, back in my day, we used to give our money to someone else to look after. They were called banks. They abused their authority and caused a financial crisis in 2008. We had to pay them out billions, and they used that money to pay themselves big bonuses. My heart! It might not go down like... Compose yourself. It might not go down like that, but you sort of get the picture. Essentially, the concept is not a good one. Now, the global world reserve currency is dollars, not because it's backed up by anything, not because the government is actually going to give you gold for it. They won't. It's essentially worthless. The only reason it has value is because people use it. So for Bitcoin to become valuable, people only need to use it, and they are. And as we've previously shown, 2017 is the year of growth for almost all cryptocurrencies. People are using it. There are definite use cases. It solves problems that we have currently. It's not going away. It's not a bubble. It's not about to pop, at least in my mind. Speaking of the banks, a Swiss private bank by the name of Falcon is going to allow customers to buy and sell crypto, namely Litecoin, Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, and Ethereum. Now, I know that it's kind of getting away from the point. Satoshi likely thought of Bitcoin after the 2008 financial crisis, didn't like what the banks were doing. And here we are having a bank that's allowing you to use crypto. But I see it as a very positive movement. Swiss banks are very forward thinkers, and they probably don't want to miss out. This will help mass market adoption, which is what we need desperately at the moment. We're not there yet by any stretch of the imagination, even though more and more people are learning about it. I mean, if you're like me, I have told almost everyone I know about Bitcoin, and they are telling other people about Bitcoin as well. And that's just how it starts. Thinking about it for yourself, how many people have you recently told about Bitcoin? This is how we grow. And there's a new Netflix documentary announced entitled Banking on Bitcoin. I haven't watched it myself, but I thought you guys might be interested. If you have seen it, would you let us know if it's worth our time? Now it happened again. I mentioned a specific number for subscribers thanking people, and I just went way over that this very same day. I'm not going to mention a number today. Thank you so much. I try and read every comment I get, and I'm sorry if I missed you out, but I really appreciate everyone commenting and liking and watching my videos. And as usual, I will see you in the next one.